Once the printed part is cured and sanded down to the intended smoothness, you can begin checking that the part will function as its intended purpose. Because printed parts' dimensions will change, especially right after being printed, it's best to wait a few hours to allow it to stabilize. In addition, the features that fit together need to be checked that they will work. For instance, printing a 1mm hole and a 1mm rod will not allow them to fit together after they're printed. It's best to allow for some clearance, which can easily be added by slightly scaling one of the parts in the slicer software. And because material shrinkage is never uniform in all directions, it may take a few iterations of printed parts to get the fit and scale just right. You can closely estimate the shrinkage of a material by printing any one of the many dimensional test parts found online. But be aware that each machine may produce different results, and results can also vary between different batches of material. In any case, always be prepared to print a part more than once to get the final fit and function you desire. If you printed a part that needed to be broken up into multiple sections, since it wouldn't fit in the machine's build volume, you want to be sure that they fit together before using any adhesive. This is also a good time to consider part orientation when printing on an FDM printer, because layers can easily separate. Printing a part where the layers are perpendicular to any sort of stress will be ideal in making sure it won't break apart between weak layers. Once they're ready to be glued together, you can apply superglue and fit them together. This type of adhesive works well on many 3D printed parts, and it gets the job done quickly. If you're unsure if a certain type of glue will work, find some scrap parts and test glue them to make sure it works. With all the sections assembled and the parts sanded down to your desired smoothness, the parts can be painted with any standard spray paints or brushed on with model paints. As expected, the cleaner the part is from any sort of dust or cleaning solutions, the better the paint will adhere and dry. Now your model is ready to be put to use or set on display for others to admire.